Right, and we return. Well, what do you know? We're being attacked by a devourer, and in the meantime, between the last two parts, Ulfric hanging out this tent with all these wounded Zephyrite, and another sandstorm's blown in, it seems. Brilliant. It doesn't matter. We're going to return... I love these tumbleweeds. They're so cool. Did you see the one on the last episode? Loved it. I'm going to be returning now up to the other characters and exploring forwards in the next part of the story. This might be kind of tricky, but again, I think there was a Crystal of the Sky here. There you go. We just saw another player use it right there. And I've just transmuted our sword, by the way. It's not actually a different greatsword. It's exactly the same as it always was. It's just a different skin now. We had a transmutation charge. I just thought, hey, let's change our utility skills a little bit. Something that I think would be really good here is maybe using Sikkim. And as the season goes along, I think it'll be good to keep using Sikkim and more load into our pet instead of ourselves. In fact, let's go to our specializations. Look, we're beast master and skirmishing. We're doing damage. It's okay. Mind you, hold on. There are some lines we've never really talked about. I've never really shown you wilderness. I've never really shown you nature. So we could run through those at some point. But yeah, I'll keep these for now. And yeah, we'll just take quickness. We'll take damage. And I'll keep a spirit. Actually, no, I think that'll be fun. Let's do it this way. Maybe we change the elite. Just for funsies. Let's change the elite to entangle. Or maybe we'll res some people with the nature spirit. That's a cool one. So yeah, anyway, let's get up. Oof. It's just, this feels slippery and slidey, like there wouldn't be collision here, and it always concerns me, but it's okay. Now, let's see. What kind of gathering axe do we have? Not a good enough one. This is a ruined log. I will try to do stuff like this. This is an ancient tree, an ancient sapling, so you actually get top-tier wood from that. It's a good idea to go for, to keep the money going. But, yeah, I'll try to pick up some better gathering tools, maybe with our geodes or something in a second. Anyway, we heard these guys chatting before. Let's see what else they have to say, shall we? Lucent says, I'm not sure I have left it in me to fight for survival in this miserable, hostile wasteland. Forgive me for saying this, but you sound more bitter than your fellow Zephyrite. Yeah, most Zephyrite have been nice and sweet and calm. She's not. He's not. My lover brought me into the Zephyrite community. Now that she's been taken from me, I'm lost. Oh, wow. Imagine that. You feel no affinity to these people. You care... Well, maybe you do come to care about them. Maybe you do come to care about what they believe in. But you're really there because of someone else. And now that person is dead. Wow. Taken from me? Maybe just on another ship? Here's a really cool question that I'm rather fascinated by. Yes, this one got shot down. And we did see it look like quite a violent attack. But did the others make it? I mean, look out there. There's a lot to explore. A lot. Whoops. I was going to open the map. Wrong thing. But whatever. Who else we got? We got Aura.
Look at that. The storm winds are piling the sand up all around us.
We're in danger. Trouble's coming our way. Up those dunes.
Okay. Looks like they're going to be fighting. Hopefully we can get her dialogue here. She says I can see it's going to be a challenge to retain our spiritual balance in this hostile, unfamiliar land. I can understand that. It's quite ironic and, I don't know, tragic, really, what ArenaNet did. They took these people used to living in the skies with ultimate freedom and stranded them in a desert. I mean, that's a hell of a thing to do to these people, and that's where they find themselves now. So, I can imagine it being a real problem. Especially if all of their magics have become weak and more corrupt. Well, not corrupt, you know, just broken. They can't get the crystals so much. They don't know where their leader is. They don't know anything really that's going on. Mind you, they haven't really talked about their leader or anything just for now. So, yeah, let's just knock some of these out. Obviously, my Axor attacks are bouncing might on me. Speeding this up a little bit. I just wanted to res this Zephyrite. I don't know why. I just felt like it'd be something nice to do for them. They're all scared, and the reason is because these dust mites are actually a part of the very same event I did in the last part. It's actually kind of funny how perfectly the sandstorm timing is lined up. But there you go. So I get a ton more geodes, and now everybody's okay. All right, cool. So anyway, there you have it.
You see? We can endure this. We will see our way through these tests.
We were fortunate this time. We remain lost in a harsh and unforgiving place.
It's easy to remain at balance when all is well. Our challenge is to know that same peace, even in our darkest days.
Was that the same dialogue we heard before, or was it different? I thought that the reason they were talking before was because we'd moved close in the story, but maybe not. Maybe it was just the end of the event. All right, so here we go. Fallen Hopes. Kind of had that weird moment where Marjorie and Casimir and such like pop into existence next to us now, but there it is. All right, so hello, everyone.
That structure is unstable. It would be unwise for us to go in. Scruffy's scan confirms that it won't support all our weight. According to my calculations, the most efficient combination would be you, Marjorie, and Casimir. The rest of us can wait out here.
Did she just call us fat, Bram?
Yep, she sure did.
Facts are facts. The three of us together weigh as much as 19 Casimirs.
Great. I'm a unit of measurement.
Lead on, boss. Kaz and I are with you. We'll holler for the rest of you if we need something smashed.
Interesting. So, I'm not fat. I'm pretty sure I'm bigger than you guys. It'd be quite easy to be a character bigger than them as well. Ulfric isn't like some max-size character. We're quite a normal proportion for a Norn. You could be a really enormous Char as well, and I'm sure you'd be bigger than Rox. Rox isn't a particularly bulky Char. She's quite lean. I guess we're just going to say that there's a lot of weight in Scruffy. I don't know, and we'll get going. There's actually quite a lot to talk about here. First, we'll just do the dialogue. Scruffy calculated that we have a 67.23% chance that approximately 89% of the Zephyrite did not survive that crash. Wow. Okay, wait. A 2/3 chance that 9/10 of them died. Can we not average those two out? Isn't that some basic maths? We need to stay focused here. This whole area is dangerous. No worry, Casimir. I will. Lead the people when you're ready. There are people here in need of help. Interestingly, our allies are actually determined right now, which is, as you hopefully remember, the symbol for basically being invulnerable. Maybe that will change as we go forward. You can actually see up there, there's some Inquest attacking a guy called Morning, or near a guy called Morning who's down. Girl called Morning. Ah, the Zephyrite names. I don't know what their gender is until I actually click them and see them. Anyway, so something kind of funny, that thing about Casimir as a unit of measurement, 19 Casimirs equals them. That's kind of an in-joke from the studio. As far as I remember this story, Casimir's character model is like the ultimate generic human character model. It's this that they use when they're building a map. So, like, let's say you are crafting... Let's think about a totally different area of Tyria here, just for funsies. All right, let's say you are making the Diessa Plateau, all right? And as you're crafting the map, you need a sense of what scale everything is as you expand and shrink down various assets. So you drop little character models into the dev tool, into the map maker, to know, all right, this is how big a person is, so this is how big this house should be, this is how small this house should be, this is how big this temple should be, this is how big this farm should be, and so on. And you kind of use that as a reference. And of course, they probably have references for all the races, but the main one is actually a human female model, and I think it's like Casimir, like exactly. She is the ultimate generic, basically. Everything about the game is proportioned around her to a certain degree, right? Obviously, there's lenience. The devs know that you could play a big, mighty Norn that's way taller than her. But, yeah, and so she kind of is a unit of measurement. Genuinely is a unit of measurement. Now, what's kind of funny, why do I know this? Interestingly enough, through vanilla Guild Wars 2, there wasn't really anything going on. Through Season 1, there wasn't much going on. Through a lot of their updates. But here, at the start of Season 2, ArenaNet kicked up an online podcast. The developers actually go live after every Living World episode from now and talk about the patch, what they were trying to do, and stories from behind the scenes. Now, I've gone as far as YouTubing and finding the episode. This is the second episode ever of their show, was on this release. And so you get behind the scenes stories. And what I'll try to do as I play along is in my own time, I'll watch those and we can have cool dev stories and stuff as we go along. Because literally you can see them. And I would say that's probably a cool companion piece as you watch my series as well. When I finish this episode, and we're a long way away from it. You know, I said that there were 5 instances sometimes. Well, there's 5 on this, and we've only done 1. You can kind of get their thoughts. They're usually only about half an hour long, but you do get fun things. Anyway, all right, so Casimir has created a portal. And we move up. You actually see Casimir is super useful with those.
Hold on. I'll cast... Wait. Something's wrong.
What's the matter, doll?
I can't form a portal. Something here is blocking me.
Never mind then, I guess. They do really well in these missions to make everyone feel worthwhile and justified.
I've collected some of the Zephyrite crystals. See if you can break through with this sun crystal.
So Marjorie has demonstrated a power we could only hope to have, which is to grab the crystals and move them. Drytop is an amazing map because the specific areas that the crystals are create the platforming. Like, if you do these really intense runs, you can take some crystals to really far areas of the map and do cool things that you would actually find really challenging, and you have only a certain limited window to do. So you always want to move these, and Marjorie can do it, we can't. Alright, so maybe we just pick up the crystal. And we've already kind of learned this in the open world, but whatever. And then we just spam through.
Smash that Inquest thing so we can catch up.
So yeah, more Inquest. And we get a generator. I honestly thought I was going to one-shot it there, but I guess not. Night falls. It has been a long day. Hello, everyone. Hello. Are you guys going to be friendly for once?
Halt, intruders. This area falls under Inquest jurisdiction. You are trespassing. Ergo, be gone, or we'll have no choice but to oust you.
Look, we're just trying to help these poor crash victims and find out what happened. Do you know anything about the crash?
All we know is that whatever lands in our territory is ours to salvage. Let us show you just how serious we are about this.
Your territory? Alright, I'm sure. I'm just going to immediately elite them, sick them, and use the Alcyn attack there. That should be pretty nice. And we can give them quickness as well. Yeah, I don't think they're going to really manage to get through this. They're actually a lot tankier than I thought. This challenge might end up really interesting. They're not doing any damage, but that's okay. Until we have to start sacrificing armor, I think we'll be alright. Just about managed to trigger some combat music for us there. Another gap. Do you guys have anything? Ladies?
We showed them. Still think I'm not ready for battle?
Listen, I'm sorry about how I've been acting. I just can't stand the thought of you getting hurt again. That scared the fluff out of me.
I know, honey. I felt the same way about you. But you convinced me that you can handle yourself. Now let me convince you.
All right.
Casimir was at her coolest at the end of Season 1.
You could clear that gap with a lightning tether. Try this crystal.
Alright, sure. But now, mere, what, days, weeks, months later, she's back to talking about fluff.
Oh, how are you?
Great. I want to see you go nuts, Casimir. Yeah, how are we supposed to get across? Well, we can learn about this crystal now. I don't know why the devs really doubled this up. I wonder if it's a situation where...
Something's actively blocking my magic. Please keep an eye out for anything unusual.
Where one part of the studio didn't know what the other was doing, right? So they kind of doubled up on the tutorial element. That's fine. Alright, so we can move along. I like how precarious this feels. And look at that. That over there, no sandstorm, late at night. That is prosperity. And you can see it doesn't look like it's in a good way. We will get to that in due time. Amazingly, I wonder... This could totally break the instance if I do this. If we equip our longbow... Longbow is one of the longest ranged skills in the game, weapon sets in the game. It can go not just 1500 range, but beyond, because barrage, we can cast 1500 range away, and then it has the radius itself. So like, I could actually damage that Inquest survey equipment from here with barrage. I can just do it normally. Look at that. Wow. I'm not going to break it because I'm scared I might bug the patch or something. I don't know. We get some laurels as a login reward there. That's nice. So yeah, okay, let's just take out this dampener instead. Oh, God. Oh, my lord as well. I need to be a little bit careful of Stalker Strike.
With my spell. Now that it's out of commission, I should be able to conjure a short-range portal.
If that's what you call that, fine. I didn't see a portal. I just saw straight-up teleportation there, Casimir. You're really going to get a sense that Mesmers are OP the more you hang out with Casimir, honestly. All right, here we go. We're up to Morning, who was knocked out a while ago.
Help me! Please! Someone!
Like all the debris on the floor. All right, I can help you, certainly. Damn, I'm really bad at dagger. Honestly, I have no decent muscle memory for dagger. None. I probably won't use Bertolf for a while. I should look up as well what pet we can get on this map. I really would like to know. It'd be very cool if there are any juvenile animals here that we can have as a new friend, like a Season 2 friend. It'd be so awesome. There's a whole side to being a ranger, honestly, that you guys just haven't had. Okay, so we're on a longbow now. Not great sword. Oh, we're actually taking big damage. All right. So I used a skill 3 to stealth. Then I got revealed because my barrage is going. And I'm really scared because if any of those end up as retaliation, I'm screwed. I'm going to swap Bertolf there. All right. Now, do I have AoE Winter's Bite? I don't. I don't have AoE Winter's Bite. I randomly Stalkered Strike there again. Dude, pretty scary. Oh, my God. They managed to rocket turret me down. Dude, this is going to be harder than I thought. It's alright, I need my own help. Okay, so I could keep damaging here to get Bertolf to to kill the golem, and thus I would rally. Or I can just get it to lick my wounds, which is very, very, very strong, and as you can see, will get me up, no problem. Yeah, we should definitely look at our build here. As we climb up, we're going to really struggle. Unfortunately, this game's not like Guild Wars 1, where it's like you made an actual strategic decision at the start of the mission. You can just swap anything, anywhere, anytime. So there's not any real gameplay that's going to be involved here. But we can maybe fix it up.
I'm here. Help me.
I got you. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, she sounded really sweet there. Yeah. Question the survivor?
Hello, good
This
luck.
one's alive, but hurt badly.
You're going to be okay. My friends and I will get you out of here.
Forget about me. The Master of Peace is in danger. Someone has to go find him and protect him.
The Master of Peace. Your leader. Where is he? Why is he in danger?
I don't know why, but the Sylvari is trying to kill him. Please.
Hey, stay with me.
Whoa.
Oh, damn. She's dead.
I hate to speak ill of the dead, but that Zephyrite was lying.
About what?
Don't get me wrong. She was very afraid for the Master of Peace, but when she said she didn't know why he was in danger, I could tell. She wasn't lying.
Why would she lie? Are you sure?
Absolutely. It was in her posture and in her eyes. She didn't give us the whole truth.
I believe you. Let's press on and see if we can find any more answers.
All right. They might go over there and start talking to me again in a second. I have to say, though, this game really needs a way to have someone who's lying on the floor wounded die and not stand up and then fall down again in the most dramatic way possible. It's ridiculous. So, she is saying that their leader, known as the Master of Peace, is in danger. Doesn't sound like he's dead yet, but it's a Sylvari. Now, hold on. We just did a whole season dealing with a crazed Sylvari. There's no way Scarlet is still alive or around. Like, we killed her. But there's another thing with the Sylvari going on here. Unbelievable. So that's interesting all on its own. So the antagonist here is a Sylvari. Well, then Casimir makes it even more interesting. She isn't telling us why. The Zephyrite are doing something weird. And they're not telling strangers, outsiders, ergo us, what that weird thing is. But that weird thing is probably why the Master is being attacked. Very, very interesting. So, are they bad guys? Is the Sylvari a good guy? Why would they lie? I guess we'll see. So, aspect of the sky? Let me guess, you want me to go and break another dampener. Is it that one we were looking at earlier? Might have been, you never know. So let's pull our way up. Oh, I was going to change my builds. Oh my god, Stalker struck again. Why is my instinct that skill 4 is ranged and skill 5 is the other attack? I don't get it. I guess I'll immob here. And if we barrage, we can damage the dampener as well as the enemies. It actually looks like I can't break the dampener until the enemies are dead. So we'll just have to work our way through this. Oh, there you go. That was the stealth there. It's interesting. When enemies stealth themselves in PvE, it tends to not mean much. Because they reveal themselves really quickly because their AI will always just make them attack again. So it is a mechanic, but most people would be hard-pressed to point out that it's a mechanical. Think about it. That guy gave himself quickness too. All right, nice. So, yeah, we can do this. We can even sick him. Beauty. Wow. This is a lot of bodies, to be honest. But we are climbing up. Look how far the wreck just comes up the cliffs.
Hey, sugar.
You don't want to call me sugar, do you? It's one tragedy after another. First Lion's Arch and now this terrible accident. What's happening to our world? Yeah, that's something really cool to remember. I really want you guys to think about that at this stage in Tyria, at this point in the timeline, Lion's Arch is nuked. I can't go there and show it to you because in the actual MMO, it's been rebuilt by this point, and there is no way to visit the transition kind of periods for Lion's Arch. But if I were to go there right now, it would just still be a hellhole. It would be in like one of those middle phases where the people were rebuilding it. If people are really interested, I do actually have another video on my YouTube channel of that middle version of Lion's Arch where it's in the middle of being rebuilt. And you could check that out after this video. That would be a really cool thing to watch if the next one's not up yet or whatever. If you're marathoning, obviously don't worry about it too much. But anyway, what's happening to our world, Marjorie says. This was no accident. Look at the bodies. Yeah, I thought things would be better after Zaitan. Is it possible that both are linked? Both seem to be to do with the Sylvari. Their bodies are riddled with knife wounds. They didn't die in the crash. They were attacked before the crash. Something happened on the ship. Right, so these guys got shanked up there. Wow. The Zephyrite always seemed so gentle to me, but these died fighting. There are defensive wounds on their hands and arms, as if they were shielding themselves from their attacker. This is, I don't know what you guys' imagination's like, but this is very violent imagery that this brings to my mind. The idea of having the defensive wounds all along your wrists and arms. Ugh. No culture survives long without learning to defend itself. So many of them. It must have been a large force that attacked. I don't think so. The stab wounds are from the same blade. No variation. Look. Marjorie doesn't know everything. She's wrong. We're right. Yeah, look, we are a ranger. We know these things. She says yes, as if inflicted by one lone attacker. One lone Sylvari, attacker did all of this. See, if it was Scarlet, you'd find, like, plasma burns on them and bullet holes and stuff like that. But this is a blade. A formidable attacker who took them down single-handed. Them and their airship. An accomplished saboteur, then. So, really, that is the idea. Someone up there betrayed them and, like, blew them out of the sky.
All these dead. They're breaking my heart.
A friend pointed out to me that these people weren't killed in the crash. They were dead beforehand.
What?
Murder.
See, she calls us our friend there. That's weird. That's strange. I think later she'll just start saying the commander. Alright, there's no more dampeners. Good, so we can come straight on up. Top of the plateau. It's weird they're doing the portal thing when we could easily be having crystals, all of us. Maybe it's because they couldn't have the girls look like they were, you know, crystalling around. They definitely can these days, but maybe not back then. Right, well, let's see what else we've got. Let's change this up. Let's go double axe. I kind of want to do specific builds. I don't want to just tinker as we play. Maybe we can just tinker. And then, if you guys remember, when we did marksmanship, we ended here at Predator's Onslaught. No, not marksmanship. That's on Beast Mastery. We ended here for the quickness on pet swap. I'm going to stop pet swapping with our Grandmaster. Let's change it and pick up honed axes instead. So this is get ferocity and then more ferocity for every axe we wield. So we're actually going to get lots of chunks of ferocity here. And all of our axe skills recharge quicker. And the skill 3 here, Winter's Bite, this is now going to be area of effect. Really crazy. By the way, a lot of what I talk about in the builds as we go forwards might be changing soon. Apparently there's a balance patch coming, one of the early updates this year, that's going to change over 700 skills and traits in the game. Like, I'm not joking. I think it's more about PvP and the World vs. World game type, so you might not find too much has changed, but hey, who knows? Anyway, for now, this is a really cool trait. This should increase our damage a bit. And then maybe down here, we can instead pick up Hunter's Gaze. So Clarion Bond was when we pet swap, we get Fury and Might. This is just keep getting Might every time you attack people. And the lower their health, the more Might. So that's pretty good. We'll go Hunter's Gaze instead. And then over here as well, let's do Ranger Weapon skills, do more damage. And if we're far away, they do even more, which means that our thrown axes will be really good. So let's try that. Just a couple of swaps, and then we can swap some more later, I suppose. But we'll go from there. Now, what do we got? We got to search the plateau for clues about the crash. We do want more. Right. Maybe confirm our suspicions. Well, there's a veteran Inquest here and a golem, so let's take them out. So here, for example, I'll pull them in. I'll use Axe 5 with the quickness, and you saw we did like 12,000 damage there. Really good. Bertolf coming up with us. You can see there's these big icy explosions now when we Winter's Bite. Really like playing the axe up. Axes are just fun in Guild Wars 2. They're just always fun. Alright, so we find a sheet of paper on the ground. This page, torn from a mission log, has a single phrase scrawled across it. I turn my back on you, mother. My solo voice of truth will dampen the cacophony of fools. Erin. I should discuss this with Marjorie. Well.
Can't get enough of me, huh?
She says, what did you find? And we say, it reads like a meditation scrawled on a page from someone's personal logbook. Are you familiar with the Soundless? So, let's see what Marjorie thinks about the Soundless. Now, remember, this is Ulfric saying this. So this is the player character talking about the Soundless. So that means you, dear viewer, should know about the Soundless. Do you remember? I'll tell you in a second if you don't. So, she says, I've heard of them. They're usually peaceful. Do you think this Sylvari is one of them? Perhaps, we say. She says the Soundless turned away from the Pale Tree's protection, didn't they? I remember hearing something about rejecting their own society. True, but unlike the Nightmare Court, they're not inherently evil. I hate this line, because if Cariflower were here, she would be very clear, alright, and what she learned, that the Nightmare Court are not inherently evil. There's a lot of shades of grey there, but I suppose we're a big dumb Norn, and that's what we think. So we're looking for a Soundless Sylvari who no longer enjoys the protection of the Pale Tree. and he was most likely male, judging from the name. So this is a male name.
So our Sylvari was soundless.
Jory, you sound downright excited.
The plot thickens, my dear. Of course I'm excited.
So, one thing I could have done that would have been quite keen is we obviously, as Ulfric, took the most direct route to Brisbane with Wildlands we could have. But if maybe it was Caraflower right here, right now, she could have walked up through the Caledon Forest. And remember this lake in the Caledon with the single island in the middle? And there are a bunch of curious Sylvari on there that are talking about how they have turned away from the tree and turned away from the hive mind empathetic connection Sylvari have to the tree and one another. And they just kind of try to live alone and forge their own life. They are separated and cut off from the Pale Tree. They're not Nightmare Court, who actively seek to pollute the tree with nightmare and darkness. The Nightmare Court reject the tablet. They think that the tablet is a corrupter for the tree's true nature. And so they try to infuse nastier things in it that go against the teachings of the tablet. Basically, if the tablet says one thing, like live and let live, be peaceful, the Nightmare Court are trying to do the opposite to change the tree. The Soundless aren't trying to change the tree. They've just separated themselves from it. They're completely neutral. And yet, we have a neutral, like a true neutral character amongst a peaceful society of Zephyrite who apparently has gone and done all of this. The plot does thicken, Marjorie. I think you're right. It's quite exciting. Right, so anyway, that's just one clue of 3. Let's move on over to these twisters. Now, I don't quite fancy being blinded constantly. We'll see what we got. Little interesting thing on our left here. No! Oh my god, Ulfric, careful. All right, I'm changing. Okay, blinds are one thing, but knockbacks are another. If they're vets, they can knock you back. It's kind of the same with the tendrils. Maybe the normal ones can knock you back as well. Jesus, I'm amazed we survived. I'm going to use this elite instead. Not only will it give Beartooth a ton of might, we'll have a lot anyway if we're playing with Hunter's Gaze. Damn, I might need to pick up that crystal again. Not only, we'll have a ton because of Hunter's Gaze, really. But this means that Beartooth will have a lot as well, which is really nice. And, you know, him with 25 might's good. He's obviously tankier and more CC-oriented. There you go. We didn't need the portal. Beautiful. Alson would really rip people up with 25 might. But yeah, that's pretty scary. We don't want to die. Let's start with a barrage to aggro them over. And then we'll go from there. Now, yes, like I was saying, on the left, you see that giant rock with even more stuff up there? That's actually a hidden achievement up there. A special jumping puzzle, which asks you to grab crystals, climb through the map, get here, and this precise thing I'm standing next to, right here, you can climb up there. See how fast we attack? The blinds almost don't matter at that point. Oh, I missed my X4. That's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, you can climb up that all the way up. It's really high, and at the very top, there are diving goggles like the ones in Corteria. You can jump down and fall in a really small pool of water, like a really small, obviously it's a desert, but right in there, that water down by that tree, can you see that? You got to fall from the very top to the very bottom without hitting anything on the way. It's very, very cool. And you kind of come near it here in the story, so thought I'd point it out. I think there's just a reward up there as well. It itself is a jumping puzzle and then has the diving goggles thing on the back of it, which is great. The devs around now, I think with Guild Wars 2, we're really good at doing mini jumping puzzles and stuff of that variety. Once the expansions start coming out, you're going to see we become such capable adventurers. A lot of those kinds of experiences fall away, so do appreciate them while you can here in Season 2. Season 2 is quite special, I think, for where it is. It's high-quality content under a certain, like, expectation of movement and combat capability and whatnot.
What dreadful business.
Indeed, Casimir. Right, so we got another corpse. How is this one so different from the rest, though? This Zephyrite is armed and armored, as if a part of some elite guard. There's blast powder and scorching on her body. Right, so some of them did know how to fight.
Why does it have to be another Sylvari?
I don't know, but his actions are not random. He was after something or someone specific.
The Master of Peace? Is he on the run? Is the assassin after him?
I think so, yes. We have to find him before the assassin does. Do you think we can track them?
Well, I don't know. You asking me? I mean, I could probably track him. You want to keep up? I don't know why talking about the Sylvari is linked to the fact that this woman's body has blast powder. I think the idea, though, is that the Master of Peace knew that he might be attacked. If the one down there was lying to us, even with their dying breath lied, and hid some secret. Maybe the Master knows he's got the secret too. He's hired an elite guard. He's made sure these people are there and ready. And yet it wasn't enough. Blast powder suggests that it was right next to the Master of Peace that the explosion happened. Yet, how did he get away? I guess if he's on the run, there's no body. So, yeah, let's keep going. We get another veteran. I'll probably just open with the longbow here because, you know, it's something to do while we close the gap. And here, if you take a look at Beartooth, if I click him, you'll see he has 25 might there. And Sikkim, which means any attack he does under that is just going to be really, really nasty. It would be kind of cool to get some Drake pets or something. I mean, look, there's a huge list of pets in the game. We really haven't played with many. We got a huge amount right at the end. There's kind of a chapter of Ulfric's story, which you guys sort of saw a bit of. The very end of the original series, you'll see we went to a hidden cave near the Straits of Devastation. And within that cave, there's all kinds of pets that he could just get. But he hasn't really bonded with them. I'm not too sure I want to use many of them. But it's kind of like an awesome extra secret place I wanted to show you all. Right, so last clue. This wood was blast scorched in an explosion, rather than slow burned as seen on most of the wreckage. I should discuss this with Marjorie and Casimir.
Hey, you guys, look over here.
Look over where? Over...
Can't get enough of me, huh?
She says the scorch marks and heavy damage to these airship support beams is consistent with explosives. A bomb was likely placed near them.
Weird. Some of this wreckage isn't fresh. These burn marks are old. It's as if they'd been attacked before the crash.
It is indeed, I suppose. Discuss our next move with Marjorie and Casimir. Sure, can do. She says, I doubt that the Master of Peace knows this area any better than we do. If you were him and being pursued... where would you go? That's a great point, actually. I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, they're like strangers here. They're aliens. I think I'd head for the closest town, probably. Marjorie says, that makes sense. Okay, then we should head into that town over there. Which she saw... Can she see it from here? Oh, you just about can. It's all the way over there. Look at the depth and the scale to this map. It's awesome. I'll go to the town. You stay up here and tie up the investigation. Sure, boss. You don't mind going by yourself? I'll take Rox, Bram, and Tommy with me. Okay, well, we meet you when we're done here. All right, so these two will stay.
Jory?
Yes, dear?
I was hoping we'd have a break from the death and destruction once Scarlet was gone.
Unfortunately, I believe Scarlet was just the tip of a very large, very deep iceberg.
I think you might be right, Marjorie, though we are none the wiser on what the hell any of this means just yet. So, another 10 geodes, you'll notice, sneakily got added there. It wasn't just these. So we get some Inquest research supplies, lots more sprockets. We get a gilded strongbox, which is kind of one of the champion bags you'd expect to get from late game enemies and ore, so that's pretty nice. Just lots of resources and materials, no rares or anything here. Oh, by the way, another thing I did keep, and I wanted to talk to you all about. Let's get out of the instance here. Hold on, did they say anything? Usually now, yeah. For these next few patches, in the personal story, you were never quite sure if dialogue was going to update at the end. Quite often it doesn't here. You'll notice that Marjorie's still just talking about the chasm. So we don't have to worry about that too much. Yeah, one of the things that's been going on is getting achievements and playing various parts of the game. You do get achievement points. And achievement points allow you to progress through these different boxes. So you can see that Ulfric's got 1,000 of them so far. You actually start with a couple of hundred, I think. But, you know, as you just fight with weapons, like we got Staff Master earlier, as you kill enemies, all kinds of things.
We can't allow the pain to crystallize within our hearts. Its shards will cut deep, Lucent.
Bennett.
Excuse me?
My parents named me Bennett. How could I have shed their blessings so casually? My love brought me to our sanctum, where she renamed me. She said I brought light and clarity to her heart.
Oh, Bennett. Know that you're not alone in this. I wish you peace.
Yeah, he's losing his faith and his identity and everything. Right, so anyway, as you get achievement chests, you get rewards. And sometimes that means you get this, a very special reward, the large achievement chest. And I haven't opened one of these or really shown them, so let's check it out. You get some siege for world versus world. If you're playing that game type, you can sell. You get item booster, which I'll do again. Gives you a ton of magic find, better gathering resources, all that kind of stuff. You get straight up jugs of liquid karma, which you can drink to just turbocharge the karma on your account. You can get these things, Mystic Forge Stones, which allow you to roll for gear in the Mystic Forge. And you even get this thing here, a Box of Fun, which when you double click, it places this object anyone can interact with. And you'll see it's got this like exclamation mark on it. And you know, you can get stuff like a magic carpet. How do we ride the carpet? I'm not sure how I'm supposed to actually get on it, really, to be honest. I want to try a magic carpet. Give me the magic carpet. Maybe we'll, hold on. Let's try it this way. Let's just see what happens when this hourglass ends. But I quite like the idea of riding around on a magic carpet here in the desert. That'd be really cool. We'll see what Ulfric does. He might just pull it out and get on it in a second. So, yeah, cool. Now, I'm a little bit scared of climbing down. Again, and the reason I wanted to show you that is just to make you guys understand that it is kind of worthwhile going for achievements. They can give you value in, like, meaningful ways. If only you seek them out. They can get harder and harder as you go along, obviously. The more achievements you get, the more of a struggle it can be. There's also a lot of old achievements players can't get anymore, so that kind of puts people off sometimes. But you never know. Alright, so next time we will be in Prosperity.
I can't believe.
Oh, there it is!
Survived.
Awesome! Here we go! Yeah, we're on the magic carpet. Oh, I'm gonna have to get off it now, though, because there is quicksand. This sign, actually, here, I'm pretty sure says danger. Does it just say quicksand? It might just say quicksand. I think it does, you know. I think that's an N. I think that's an A. I think that's a D. Anyway, yeah, this will kill us if we go in it. Look at that. I'll talk to you guys about the mechanic next time. Thank you so much. See you there, guys. We'll finally be at Prosperity.